And we are live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. I am TNR Blade, joined here once again by Felix. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Round 5 of this championship. We had great races so far, but today, Road Atlanta, short track, 73 laps, right?
73 lap event and no rain in sight, to the joy of Nico Arigata after last round, it must be said.
True, that was a painful race for him, but it was a great race for us to watch. We had some incredible battles, some battles going even for 30-40 laps, so really interesting to see how the guys will cope with this track, especially with Sector 1. It is twisty, and every mistake is going to be costly.
Absolutely, and second most elevation change we've seen on the calendar so far after Bathurst. So it'll be interesting to see what these drivers are, how that might affect these drivers with so many blind crests and corners. As we currently ride on board with Ivan in the 12th position. So far in qualifying, yet to set a representative lap time. Sanchez actually currently on the net pole position. Never mind, Super S2K has just stolen that away. It'll be a very interesting battle to see. Perhaps we'll see drivers dipping down into potentially the 1 minute 1 minute deads. So we will see a very quick lap time, it must be said, as AMS Super 2K, another purple sector for him as he makes his way up toward the south end of the racetrack. Charging his way down now the back straightaway.
Definitely, we see now that the fastest lap at this moment, provisional pole, is 1:01.0. Depending on the fact how much will the drivers use the overtake button, that time can
there is
drop.
no overtake to be used in qualifying, so
yeah,
this
but
is all
in the
driver
race,
skill.
in the race, definitely the laps can be faster than 1 minute flat. Absolutely,
as he shaves off another fastest lap, 1:01.053. He actually lost a little bit of time compared to his previous best lap, going through that final chicane and down through the final corner. So we should very easily see these drivers dip down into the 1 minute flats, possibly a 1 minute 0.7. I would imagine would be an optimal lap time around here, based off the pace we're seeing so far.
We are not live.
Oh, are we not?
I don't see it, no.
That's strange. I've got it up on my end.
Yeah, I don't see it on the YouTube channel.
Who are you? What account are you logged in with?
Grove Street. I mean, I'm logged in with mine, but I'm checking Grove Street. Maybe it's on another one. Yeah.
I'm logged into my personal account, and I can see it fine. Some technical difficulties potentially here. Very strange.
Let's just double check. Okay, I guess we are live then. Just I can't find it. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Okay.
There it is. All right. A little bit of a scare there, but we are all good as Arigata begins another flying lap for himself. Looked like he might have been having a little bit of trouble just trying to find a lap time as he goes off again. I think that might be the trouble corner for most, going up through, I believe that's turn 2 or 3, as he picks up a 1 second time penalty. And he'll need to reset and try to go again. AMS 1-2 for the moment. Super 2K currently leading, followed by his teammate Chung, AMS Drift King, who comes around over the crest through the final corner. Does he improve on his lap time here? No, he does not, but he is perfectly set up to attack it once again. Gramenos now up into the P2 position, only less than a tenth off of Super S2K.
That's a great lap by Graminos.
Could we see the Greek driver take... Oh, big step of oversteer over the top of the hill. If the game doesn't penalize him, that might... No, it did. I was going to say he might have been able to carry on with that lap, but no, he had all 4 tires off. So like Daytona, track limits will potentially be case in point for these drivers to watch out for.
Another 3 minutes of this qualifying left.
And it is, I'd say this might be the most competitive session we've seen all season with how close these lap times are. Super 2K still on pole at 1 minute, 0.9 fastest lap of the race, or fastest lap so far. No, his teammate goes even faster. 1 minute 0.815. Excuse me. This is going to be very difficult to try to announce. Oh, as he goes wide though in the following corner. Super S2K improves on his previous time. He's now down to a 1.929. Gramino's still in P3. I pressed the wrong button there. P3 at a 101.047. Arigata currently P4. We'll try to get one final run in. Sanchez currently in the net 5th position as he comes to the line. No, he goes up to 4th, jumps ahead of Arigata at a 101. Hang on, what lap time is it? It's a 101.3, but for some reason.
Yeah, we can't see because he went to pits and then went out again, so the laps are being deleted. Anyhow, we have 10 drivers, not 11 drivers within a second. Payme is 1.6 away from the lead. Quackadilly Blip 1.8 seconds off the lead.
Oh, and Quackadilly's really just having trouble getting a lap in, it looks like. Keeps running wide. He's going to pick up another time penalty here. Or no, actually, he's just come out of the pits, so that won't even matter for him. Payme currently on a lap, so we'll see what he's able to do. Lester in 11th for the time being at a 101.7. Philo with a time penalty here, having run wide somewhere, so he'll have to serve that before he gets another chance to go at it. Ivan currently P9. His lap times not up just yet, but we will find out what they are momentarily. He's just set a 101.7 that time around.
No.
Supa's gone around at the top of the hill, I've just seen.
Nico was lucky right now, so he picked up a penalty right at the end of the first sector. Luckily, he will be able to let this penalty down right now. So
he'll be able to serve this penalty, but is he going to have enough time to get around to the start-finish line to get this final lap in?
He was 1 minute and 3 seconds before the end of the session.
Oh, it's going to be tight, though.
Just about
5,
enough.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And he made it.
He got it just in time.
It was 1
We're
minute
going to ride on board
seconds.
with him for this final lap. He was very close to not making it. Keeps it on the track. He's going to have to really wring the neck of that car if he wants a chance at a top 3 starting position here. Still an AMS 1-2.
He missed the apex, but he's improving his lap time for 0.05.
Oh, he's picking up the time penalty! He ran too wide out of the coming out of the S's. That is it. That will do it for him. Curtains for Nico. He will start 5th at best.
At best, yeah.
Roach is on a flying lap as well as he comes to the final corner. Oh, but he's wide. And he clobbers the wall coming under the bridge.
Yeah, Graminos is out,
And I think that will do it for... no, Lester, I think, might still be on a lap here.
Yeah, but Lester is... he wasn't able to connect the lap. He's 11th and...
as he goes around across the line. That will do it for for a very hectic qualifying. And an incredibly close one across the field.
I was expecting more from Arigata.
I would say so as well. But honestly, with how close the field is on this is I think this is the first time we've seen the entire field be as close as they are currently.
Yeah, 12 drivers within a second.
And yet, It is still an AMS 1-2. Chung takes his second pole position of the season, back-to-back pole positions for him. Teammate Super S2K brings it home in the second place position, followed by Sanchez, P3. A very good showing for him. Gramenos up in P4. Nico, looking to rebound after Nürburgring last time out, starts P5. Roach will start 6th. Michael will start 7th. Supa 8th. Ivan will start 9th. Philo will round out our top 10. And then further down the grid, we have Lester, Payme, and Quackadilly will round out the field. The entire field is within 2 seconds and 6/10, so nearly 2.5 seconds. This is the closest spread we've seen out of the entire field, obviously helped by just how short and how fast of a lap this is. It will be a very interesting race indeed.
And what was Lester doing? He's an SS driver, like a top rated driver on this game. Is he trying last the first challenge? Maybe, I don't know.
Potentially, or he might just, with how close everything is, it could just be a matter of he doesn't quite have the optimized setup he's looking for. Might have also just been playing it safe just to make sure he was able to get a clean lap in without getting track limits. So we will have to wait and see. Payme making a joke he would like a tune. As we will get started in just a few minutes' time. Reading through the chat, Ari got how much is that? $100,000 for its setup? That's I mean, you could buy almost a quarter of a car for that amount before taxes. Oh dear. Fun bit of banter between our drivers here on the grid as we get ready for the off. 73 laps ahead of us here in the heartland of Georgia. 2 mandatory tire compounds to be used for this event. If the previous races are anything to go by, though, we would imagine we'll see more than just a one-stop coming in. Softs and the mediums to be used for the event. The hard tire is there as well, but I don't think we'll be seeing it used too much here today. So, what do you think we should expect to see out of this group here today?
Well, we need to see what will happen with the tires. How fast would be the drivers in their softs, and I'm basically expecting some undercuts here. The lap is short, but it's very twisty at the beginning, and those 2 corners, 2 right-handers just after sector 1 can be punishing. So if somebody can undercut a colleague driver that's just in front of them, they should be able to keep the position. That's something that we should have seen last time in Nürburgring, but we didn't. And then I forgot who it was on P3, actually lost the battle to P2. Bad luck, but the drivers will have to be more decisive and more concrete today.
Absolutely. And certainly one thing that could potentially help them is they will have a decent headwind coming down through those S's. So potentially a little more grip for them to really attack going through that downhill section. And then they'll also have a bit of a tailwind coming down into what should be the most... should be the prime overtaking opportunity on the circuit. Will be down the back straightaway into that final chicane. Leading into the final 3 corners of this magnificent circuit, it must be said, as we get ready for the off. As we are just a few moments away from lights out here in Atlanta.
Everything's ready.
As the drivers await for the lights. Chung on pole position, but on the dirtier side of the circuit, so we'll have to see how he's able to get the launch. As the lights come on, teammate in tow. 5 lights are on. Engines revving, and we are underway here at Road Atlanta. It's a good start for everyone in the top 3. It looked like Gramenos didn't have as good of a start. Arigata already up into the 4th place position. Chung currently leads them away, followed by teammate Super S2K. Sanchez, Arigata up into 4th as we had Ivan with a dive looking to make his way. He's jumped up into 7th place. A great start for him. Fellow now up into 6th. Michael looking to get back around, or trying to get around Arigata as we had a car go off. That was Philo. Ran it a bit wide into the gravel, was able to recover semi-quickly back up into 9th. As the leaders currently drive us away, Sanchez trying to stay in tow of the AMS drivers.
Roach, Gramenos, and Supa all went out into turn 1. I managed to save the replay. I mean, I see it. It was a big... Who was it? Let's see. Gramenos and this... Yeah, Gramenos, somebody went out by themselves and Supa was pushed by someone.
Both Roach and Gramenos both have severe damage on the front ends of their vehicles. They'll likely have to come into the pits, and they both do. Yellow flag up front here. Unfortunately, I think we might have missed it. Lester now attacking Payme. Can't say for certain who ran wide. Lester already using overtake here, so hopefully that was after he crossed the start-finish line. Is Michael now dropping a little ways behind Arigata, who's trying to close in on Sanchez. It is a top 4 breakaway here at the moment, as the AMS drivers continue to lead the way. Sanchez still holding on to 3rd place. Arigata looking to try to recover and get, back up into the top 3 if he can. Has already made up a position off the start. Sanchez with the fastest lap of the race on lap 2. As we take a look a little further back here, Michael running out on his own. Lester starting to pull back away from Philo, followed by Payme and Quackadilly. Quackadilly actually had a very good start to that race, up into 9th from last on the grid. Ivan must have had, I believe Ivan was our yellow flag, as he's picked up a lot of front-end damage. He will come to the pits.
Turn 1. Exactly, I didn't see how, so I just hit the save button a little bit too late. But yeah, he had a lot of damage. He took it very slowly on the way in. He needs to fix the car and get out as soon as possible. Possibly will be last.
As our leaders come through the final corner now again, just coming around to start lap 4. Chung still holds on to the lead for now. Top 4 all seemingly just kind of cruising around, trying to click off laps for the time being. No one really looking to make a move just at the moment. Sanchez still holding on to that 3rd place position, and Arigata actually perhaps falling a little bit further back behind the top 3. No one in this top 4, however, having used any overtake just yet. All 4 of them running currently on the medium tire. Same can be said for Michael, who still hasn't used any overtake, also running the medium. So he's looking up for a very decent finish for himself here today, if he's able to hold on to this top 5. As I think, I think the entire field is currently on the medium, providing they haven't. Actually, they are all just on the medium tire for the time being. Leaders now back through the final corner, still holding positions here as they continue to click off laps.
We have here battle for P6, Lester, Philo, and Payme.
Take a look further back.
It's not a big battle at the moment. They're following each other within a second.
Oh, Philo a little wide over the top of the hill. That's going to give Payme a possibility to take a look onto the grass for Payme. Holds onto it for now. Probably just mistimed his momentum. Wasn't really able to make a move happen on Philo going through there. And not really a place to overtake as well. Very high speed, very narrow. This is really where you need to set up for your overtakes, is coming down this straightaway. And as we can see, Philo using the overtake, trying to get a run on Lester. Lester will look to the outside, look to the right-hand side of the track. Does he go to the middle? No. Philo dives it up the inside, perhaps a little bit of contact, but they keep it mostly clean. Trying the crossover here on exit. Oh, big step of oversteer. I thought they were potentially going to be looking side by side through the final corner, as we have a yellow flag once again. Car has gone off. I wonder who this is.
Sanchez.
It was Sanchez who's gone off. What a shame. He was running in third. Not entirely sure what happened, but he's got front wing and suspension arm damage.
He dipped two wheels on the grass when turning in, and then just a snap oversteer.
What a shame. It was running so well. It was in such a good position. And now our top three in the championship are our top three on track. Arigata, only 1 and a bit seconds off of Super S2K, comes into this race 6 points ahead of the two AMS drivers. So we will have to see how those championship standings look at the end of this race today.
Super, just making a move on Quackadeli Blip and gets it done at the end of the straight.
A well-executed overtake.
Yeah.
As we were able to catch just about the tail end of that as it was happening. Paymay now looking again on Lester. A little bit of contact. He's going to go off the track, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and he spins up the rear wheels. Kept it going in a straight line just about. He's going to have Supa all over him, though.
Yeah,
as he tries to get back up to speed.
He will have still issues in these next two corners. Supa can use this to get in the slipstream and then try to go for an overtake at the end of the straight.
As Sanchez now into the pits.
But a good exit by Paymay.
As they rocket their way down this long back straightaway here. Supa looking to make a move potentially somewhere. Just not close enough this time by, as Paymay has recovered decently well, despite the tire disadvantage with all the dirt and grime. Philo now, with all the incidents that have happened, promoted up into the 5th place position. Lester following close behind. But kind of chilling just on the edge of the slipstream, it must be said. Paymay now will be looking to recover back up to that battle as Supa continues to chase after him. Quackadilly now up into P9, and Sanchez the first of the cars who have already made a stop.
Yeah, Sanchez need to make a stop, fix the car. Roach as well, just at the beginning of the race.
Arigata's gotten up for second. I apologize. I've just seen that. I don't know if Super S2K made a mistake somewhere, or he doesn't have any damage. But Arigata is now up into second. Oh,
it was
penalty.
1 second penalty, yeah.
So he must have collected track limits going through the S's most likely.
True, Arigata P2. This race has played perfectly for him in this opening minutes. 8 minutes in, 9 laps. Nice. I mean, he started P5, currently P2. He used every mistake that his opponents made. Quite opposite to what happened last week.
Quite opposite to what happened last week. Also, a bit of the opposite to what happened to him in qualifying. He was one of those drivers who just really struggled to keep it on the gray stuff. Now looking to capitalize on all of those mistakes. Both he and Chung yet to use any overtake just yet. Same for Super 2K. So we will have to see how that unfolds, as I'm sure the AMS driver will want to get that place back as soon as possible.
We will as well have an interesting battle for P10. Maybe drivers didn't expect to be fighting for P10, but Sanchez, Roach and Gramenos are close, relatively close to each other. Roach was really close to Sanchez, but he as well had a 1 second penalty, and we see that he is using a little bit more of his front left tire than his opponent Sanchez. Gramenos qualified P4, he is fast, we saw that, and if he's able to stay composed and focused, he would be able to get into battle with these two.
And Sanchez also, with 2 purple sectors here, he is really attacking these corners as we'll follow him through this final complex of corners, making his way over the crest and down the hill. As he comes across the line, do we see a new fastest lap? We do. 102.718, fastest lap of the race so far for the man running in the 10th position. Was again running top 3 at the beginning of early on in this race. He'll be looking to make a comeback drive, hopefully at least securing a top 5 again come the end of it. But he'll need to really make a tire strategy miracle happen, or just have really outstanding pace, because he is the entire back straightaway behind the next car in front, in Quackadilly, who is currently again running in that 9th position. So we will wait and see what happens up there. Meanwhile, back up front, Arigata closing in on that battle for the lead, dropping a tire in the grass, coming through that double right-hander onto the back straightaway, really attacking these corners.
But in the last 5-6 laps, he's constantly faster than Chung for even 5-6 tenths of a second. This lap he will be a bit slower, but he's still in the slipstream, 0.8 of a second behind Chung. Definitely, there is a chance for him to get even closer by the pit stop and then try and go for an early pit with an undercut.
Whether it be an early pit or potentially on track as well, we'll have to wait and see. He'll be suffering through the dirty air through these corners. Obviously, with that, actually, it's become more of a crosswind now, as the wind has shifted a little bit.
Yeah, the wind can shift, and it will shift throughout the race. We need to monitor it closely. It will be very hard for the drivers to follow, especially if it will be a back wind during the first sector.
As he does a much better job of keeping all 4 wheels on the tarmac as they come down. A lap car being blue flags about to be shown for Ivan as the leaders begin to close in. Still not within range, certainly not holding them up any, though perhaps Chung's starting to feel a little bit of that dirty air.
Yeah, Phil is still keeping his 5th position in front of Lester, who wasn't able to close down. Lester, 0.9 of a second in front of Beimei, who is as well, actually Supa is within a so-called DRS range, within a second from Beimei. Yeah, 4-way battle for P5.
And we'll do our best to try to keep an eye on this battle whilst the battle for the lead begins to hot up little by little with each lap that ticks by. Philo looking to try to close in again on Lester. He got up to the back of Lester earlier on, but then just had that off going through, over the top of the hill before the S's. So we'll look to see if he's able to find his way back past. As he now closes in to within, he was within half a second, but had a horrible exit there. Back end got unsettled over that curb, as he will try to recover a bit of lost momentum with the use of overtake. And that combined with slipstream will drag him back within 6 tenths here as they come up through the final corner. Chung still leading from Arigata up front, as Supa looks to close in on them both.
Yes, Supa is really close right now. He as well dips 2 wheels on the grass. We see as well here battle for P11. Unfortunately, Graminus has a penalty right now, so he's shaving off quite a lot of time compared to Roach. Roach is struggling with his front left. He's paying the price of that. Ooh, and a snap oversteer for him. Graminus will get even closer right now, within 2 seconds. Roach is unable to close on Sanchez, so definitely not a battle for P10. The gap is getting bigger, but he is under threat from Graminus.
We look back up front. Arigata now within 8 tenths of a second. Blue flags being shown to Ivan Arigata trying to close in, trying to use the lap car of Ivan to get that little bit closer, as now they will both have an equal dosage of dirty air coming through these S's. Potentially he will try to set up a move coming down into the back straightaway. Ivan gets out of the way cleanly for both of them. So no slipstream benefit for the AMS driver. Does Arigata try to use any overtake? Doesn't look like it just yet, as I think Chung actually had a much better exit, as only now does Arigata start to close in a little bit toward the end of that straightaway. Under 7/10 now. He's been slowly closed in over the course of that lap. These tires now starting to feel the drop-off coming.
Yeah, Arigata is suffering from that dirty air. His front left is as well a bit more damaged than Chung's. Lester still P6. Philo managed to get out on 1.8 seconds gap. Peimei following Lester, and Supa is really close.
Peimei still unable to realistically make a move on Lester here. He's been flirting around with it, trying to get close too, but no move happening quite yet. As he does get a much better exit, will again use the overtake. I think Peimei's actually been the most on the overtake button of anyone on the grid so far today, as he will close in within 9/10 here, coming into the final couple of corners, as they will come around to start lap 16. As we make our way about a quarter of the way through this race. Or actually, no, we're probably a little bit more than, or probably a bit under a quarter at this point in time.
Yeah, slightly.
So we will take a look back up front. Arigata now almost half a second between him and the leader. Trying to close in again. Both of them cleanly through that chicane as they make their way down the hill again. A few more sparks coming out of the underside of Chung's car, so perhaps a slightly lower ride height being used by the AMS driver. Certainly both of them not really using that entry curb too much at the very top of the hill. As Super 2K has actually begun to close in again. He's actually shaved off about a second compared to the front two over the past couple of laps. The gap was 3.5. It's now down to almost 2. So he will try to close back in, put himself back into contention for this race.
Just in the last lap, he shaved half a second compared to Nico. So he's definitely on the run. 2.2 seconds now, 2.1.
As we have a battle further back, Peimei and Supa going at it.
Supa overtaking Peimei.
Supa got around him, but Peimei will have the slipstream. Doesn't use the overtake just yet. He'll close up right to the gearbox, looks over to the right-hand side. Side by side now, down into this final chicane. You're not going to see this in Formula 1. If this was Formula 1, Supa could just push him right out because of the way the rulebook is written. Totally not salty about how that went down today in the sprint race.
Something happened before, in the lap before, or in the first sector.
Peimei looking back to the inside in turn 1, perhaps a little bit of contact. Supa was able to hold on to it. Oh, but Peimei got loose over the curb, bottomed out a bit, pushed him a bit wide. He'll hold on to it for now. Supa will need to go on the attack once again. Now,
there was a contact between Peimei and Supa in the turn 1.
Supa did very well to avoid running wide and out into the grass, potentially ending his race. Held on to it for now, but he'll have a lot of work to do again to try to catch back up. As we will once again look a little bit forward on the grid. Philo currently running out on his own. Michael, same deal. Super 2K, under 2 seconds now. He shaved off another couple of tenths
Paymay
on the
had
leaders.
the problem exiting, and he spun. He just spun
Oh, no!
at the final corner.
What on earth has happened?
It was an oversteer coming out of the final of the chicane, just on top of the hill.
Oh, and he snaps it again!
He was already a second in front of Supa, but unfortunately lost it completely.
And some would say karma has come back and bitten ferociously after that bit of contact in turn 1 the lap before. Huge damage to the front end of that car. He'll have to come back in. And certainly a lot earlier than I think he was expecting. He'll clobber the wall on exit. And he rolls right in front of Sanchez. Not much he really could have done there. Did very well to hold the brake as he was wrecking. But now he's got both front and rear end damage. So he will have to be very careful to work his way back through the corner. Back through the second half of this lap. Nearly made contact with Roach as they came through the second to last corner onto this back straightaway. Gramados now pulls out and goes around him. Just an unfortunate.
He used just the right amount of overtake to get it done.
He will try his best to hold on. I think he probably just dipped a wheel in the grass going under the bridge. As he will come into the pits and get that damage replaced. As Chung now has actually pulled the gap back out almost half a second over Arigata. I think Arigata actually might have made a mistake somewhere because Super 2K now under a second and a half.
Yeah, he was a tenth faster in the last lap. Not a lot.
Just about a second separates all three of these cars from front to rear. 2 seconds total between the teammates, with Arigata the meat in the sandwich. Oh, a bit of a slide coming out of that corner on exit. He's not going to have the run he realistically wanted. As they continue to wind down the laps here. Working lap 22 of 73. Coming to 50 laps to go here at Road Atlanta.
Super S2K pumping up some great laps at the moment. Constantly 3, 4, 5 tenths of a second faster than Arigata. And we can see that he's almost within a second right now. He will get back within the slipstream range.
He has locked in. He's not even used any of his overtake to accomplish that. Just chilling within a second of the cars in front. Potentially Dirty Air being his only hindrance at this moment in time. 8 tenths now. He had a much better run through that final corner of the S's. Closing in through the south side of the circuit. And we'll have a decent enough exit out onto the back straightaway. Continuing to try to close in. 6th gear, 160, 170 miles an hour, still climbing as they come down to the final corner. Or the final chicane, excuse me.
Grabbing a sower took Roach. We didn't see that. I missed it. Grabbing is now off track, and Roach gets that P10 back.
As this battle continues to rage on for the 10th place position, Ivan is still a ways back. As actually we did have a car. We have had a car leave the circuit.
It's Paymay.
We did lose Paymay.
Yeah.
Paymay has retired the car. Did someone just go off in the back, or is that lag?
Could be just a little bit of a lag. Yeah, everything's okay for me.
I've not... Yeah, no one's gone off, so I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. Apologies, folks. Roach
First
now with about
three.
a second over Gramenos.
Yeah, first three separated by only 1.3 seconds, 1.4. This is a great battle that we have for the victory here.
Only 7/10. Both, once again, it's a very even battle between all three of these cars. Basically identical splits, both in front and behind Arigata here. Oh, and a big step of oversteer, but he keeps together somehow. Super S2K now only half a second behind for that P2 spot. And Michael now has actually, I'm sure he's been riding in that position for a while, but he's currently running in the 4th place position, just capitalizing on the mistakes of everyone else back in this midfield, and really running a very solid race. So very well done for him. As we focus back up on this three-way battle for the lead. Both of the AMS drivers still continuing to run at a very solid pace. Arigata, despite a few mistakes, small mistakes here and there, has still managed to capitalize. Still holding on to that spot for now.
Sanchez here pressing hard to overtake Quackadilly Blip for P8.
P8.
He is about 2 seconds a lap faster.
Again, that driver who was running third earlier on we would likely see him basically just blow right by here. As Lester now, first car into the pits, I believe on merit, not pitting with any damage, will come out of the pits in the potentially, likely in the 9th place position, actually.
Sanchez all over Quackadilly Blip. Quackadilly fighting to stay on track. We saw him bottoming out quite heavily on the straight, and again we see it now, while Sanchez is not bottoming out at all. No sparks flying out from his car.
And the first leader into the pits, Chung, pits from the lead. Coming in off the medium tire. We'll see what he jumps onto here in a moment.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see where he gets out. And will he be held up in the traffic?
It looks like he should exit into clean air, as those who would have potentially hindered him behind have also come into the pits. And he will exit out onto another set of mediums. He's picked up a 3-second penalty! He's clipped the line on entry. Oh dear, that could cost him dearly. And Super 2K also had a penalty. That's just been served. A horrible lap 27 for the AMS drivers. As Arigata, does he choose to stay out? Yes, he does.
Yeah, Super S2K just hit half a second. Not much.
S2K now into the pits. Having just served that penalty, they will need to work together, I think, if they want a chance at getting back around Arigata.
Arigata flying now in front of them both. He's provisional P1 at the moment. Even when he pits, he should stay on P1. Especially
given the penalties that these other two drivers have had. Chung now really using the overtake trying on this outlap. Has nearly used a quarter of it already, as he will come out behind his teammate thanks to that 3-second penalty. As now they will likely work together to hunt back down and try to retake the top spot of the podium. Michael currently running P2 out on his own. Arigata stays out for yet another lap.
Yeah, Lester here pitted quite early. He was the first one, right? So Philo needed to follow him. He needed to respond on that move to stay ahead, which he did. So Philo still running P7 in front of Lester.
Arigata still running, able to run in the low-ish 103s, just to actually just set another personal best first sector.
He can afford it. With the mistakes that Super S2K and Chung did, he can definitely afford it. Super S2K currently in front of Chung, and Super S2K was 2.5 seconds behind Arigata, so he knows he's faster at the moment. Maybe not faster, but even if he loses half a second or a second, it will pay off, as he will have fresher tires later in the stint.
Chung, who's already had a lap back up to speed, running a 103.2 at the moment. Arigata now into the pits.
Roach overtaking Scorpio even for P10, but then making a mistake, a little bit of a touch there, right at the apex of the second part of the chicane.
Michael now assuming the lead of this race.
Yeah. Arigata pits.
The AMS drivers both rounding the front straightaway, 3/4 of a tank left of overtake left to use. Arigata hasn't used any yet, comes out of the pits under a second ahead of Super S2K. So the gap pretty much stationary. That half-second penalty that he did pick up has been reaccounted for with the undercut. Oh, but he's picked up another one!
Yeah, he's driving really aggressively now and trying to eliminate that gap that happened, but they're unable because risking so much is just going to cost them more, and they had to spend 25% of the overtake button.
Oh, that was cheeky right there.
Yeah.
That was cheeky right there. I don't know if you caught it. He used the grass to slow down less than he would have. Cheeky bugger, you. A dangerous move, though, it must be said, to do that, because if you do it wrong, you can very easily lose the back end and cause yourself to lose even more time in a wreck. Michael now into the pits. Will be exiting back out into the 4th place position easily. Very cheeky out of the AMS driver, though.
Yeah. 3.5 seconds penalty for him. What did he do?
What on earth?
He possibly entered the pits.
That must have had to have been a... Yes, that must have had to have been a pit exit violation, or pit entry violation, I should say, combined with
combo.
Potentially running out and getting half-second track limits. So.
True. Scorpio even and Graminos only 3.9 seconds apart, with Scorpio even just pitting. They are 11 and 12, but still, it's not over. They can have a good race until the end.
No one else really very close out on track. It's really just this top 3, which is...
Leicester.
Well, the other 2 that are kind of close.
Yeah.
So we will focus our attention back up front. The gap between the top 3 still only 3.5 seconds, though obviously that has grown since the pit stops. Chung now with the fastest first sector of anybody. As he makes his way down and onto the back straightaway. 2 seconds behind his teammate for now. As he charges his way down the straightaway once again. AMS Super 2K, who currently does hold the fastest lap of the race at 102.5. Obviously, with overtake, they have the potential to run faster than they were in qualifying, though I doubt we're going to see that just because of the tires they're running and then also their fuel loads. So, until they eventually make their pit stop onto the mandatory soft compound tire, we will have to wait and see what happens. As the gap has come down to a 1.4, 1.5 now, as Arigata with fastest first sector. Roach now with the fastest lap of the race, so 102.4. As it looks like Chung had a bit of a issue through the final chicane on that previous lap. Only a 102.9. .33 coming to 34 laps into this main event, as that will be 40 laps to go in this race.
Supa actually doing a great job at the moment because he decided to go on softs. So he's on the different strategy from Lester and Philo. Yeah.
Potentially try to use the tire advantage, get around him.
Yeah, he's much faster than Lester at the moment, so almost a second and a half almost. So we can see that he's within the range to attack, so I would expect definitely an attack within the next lap.
As he too comes over the crest down the hill, looking for a potential move down into turn 1 even. He has so much more speed. Might try saving it for the entry to turn 2. Closes in again. Looks around, tries to find an opening, but Lester places that car beautifully in a great defensive manner. Holds on to it for now. Supa will need to likely wait for the exit of that double right-hander to make that move, which is right here. Closing in little by little, half a second now on exit, 0.6, I should say. Does get the better exit. We'll see if he uses any overtake to try to close in and get around him here. Down to
Lester
4 or
actually
0.3 now. So Lester using it to defend, as Supa will hold station behind for now. Over the crest of the hill once again and down towards turn 1. 0.3, all that separates them for the time being. We'll try to stay on board with this for as long as we can, just while and just try to keep an eye on the front 3.
I'll keep an eye on the front 3.
All right. Supa falling a bit behind. Dirty air really hurting him down those S's. As the wind actually continuing to shift, it's almost becoming a headwind down into the main braking zone at the end of this back straightaway. So potentially overtaking becoming a little bit easier then, possibly.
Yeah, Arigada just lost a little bit of time behind Quackadilly Blip. So Super S2K just came under a second briefly.
And certainly he was running faster lap times than him right before the pit stops happened. So if either of those two drivers are going to be able to make a move, we would imagine it would be Super S2K's. Supa, the car we're watching currently on the cameras, runs a little bit wide over the crest of the S's. Doesn't look like he'll pick up a time penalty, though. Was able to keep 2 tires on the circuit, but definitely lost a bit of time to Lester, as he once again makes his way through that corner onto the back straightaway. And now his tires really... I think the tire advantage has gone with how worn they've become.
True. That's true, yeah. And they both lost to Philo.
As we see, I'm just taking a look at a message in chat. Yes, Roach did pick up damage earlier on in this race. It was a contact down at turn 1. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see it. But he did pick up some pretty hefty damage on the opening lap. Has since recovered, or no, I say recovered. He is currently running in the 12th position, having just come out of the pits.
And we are just past the halfway
As Sanchez, I've just seen, has picked up a half-second penalty as he now starts to close in on Supa.
Sanchez is doing some great laps, actually. He used the situation now to come really close to Supa. Superstars is gonna get just worse from this point onwards, right? So
that's actually
yeah,
a really impressive lap he's just ran. The leaders haven't. I don't think any of the leaders have run a 102.4 yet on the mediums.
Yeah, Super S2K 102.5 just in the second lap after pit stops.
So Sanchez really flying. He's showing he had the pace to keep it up there with the leaders. If not for that running wide out onto the grass at turn 1 earlier on, as he will continue to close in on Supa now, whose soft tires really starting to fall off a cliff. He has a great exit onto the back straightaway. Unless he uses a bit of overtake here, I don't think he'll be able to make a move on Supa just yet.
Super S2K responding with the purple sector, first sector. Let's see, can he get any closer to Nico?
Battle for 6th, continuing to heat up. Supa now under half a second to Lester.
Ooh, Gravino's just
Supa
crashed.
takes a spin! Supa goes for a spin, and it looks like Sanchez barely held onto it. He got a bit of contact off of the spin. Supa goes around, having bottomed out over the curb. Very lucky to get away with that without damage. But he will drop down to the 8th position. Yeah, those tires won't be hanging on much longer.
Graman is dropping down to P11, so he crashed
he's
quite
picked up
heavily.
Heavy damage as well. Yeah. Both front and rear damage. He will need to come in here very quickly.
Just
another snap of oversteer.
Yeah, just at the end of the first sector, he had he touched just slightly the curb, and he was thrown to the wall.
Arigata had a penalty. Arigata has just served the penalty. Super 2K now just went around him. I just barely caught the end of that. I don't know how much of it a penalty it was. But Arigata, first real mistake of the day, as that will drop him down out of the lead. Super S2K, the driver who started in second, now up to the lead. Yeah, I haven't said it yet. I'm starting to think, there might be a bit of a pole position curse here. We have not had a pole sitter translate into a win at any point yet this season, as he now sits a new fastest first sector of the race. Coming down onto the back straightaway. We'll see if he can continue that pace, grab another fastest sector here. As they come out onto the back straightaway, halfway down already, approaching the sector split. And no, he's lost a little bit of time.
It will be interesting to see, can Super S2K and Arigata, what will happen, but I suppose that Super S2K will try to get Chang into the slipstream of Arigata to put some pressure on him.
Certainly, if the teammates were working together in that way, that could definitely be a viable strategy, or just using what was I going to say? Or just using the dirty air to try to back him up.
True.
As the gap and Arigata's picked up another penalty. Half a second again. He's ran wide through the S's.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time there.
Yeah, and that's going to put Drift King right onto his gearbox here. Oh, but Drift King did not have a good exit out onto this back straightaway.
Yeah.
Arigata serves the penalty now. We'll try to get back going. As Drift King's actually under pressure from Gramenos here, who's, looking to get his lap back.
Yeah.
But that gap, which was 1.5 seconds, or really 1.7 before the penalty, now down almost under a second. about Arigata's really only saving grace at the moment is that he's got fresher tires than Chung. So,
yeah, he as well has 25% or more overtake, and he has 2 laps fresher tires than Chung, and 1 lap fresher tires than Super S2K.
Well, certainly has the overtake advantage over S2K, but I don't think that's three and a few tenths worthy of overtake, as Super S2K continues to run away, carrying on his dominant performance from the Nürburgring last time out. These are the performances we were expecting to see from him, and frankly, we're realistically robbed of being able to see out of him, as he spent all of the round in Australia at Bathurst just on recovery after being taken out at turn 2, excuse me. He has shown pace throughout the season to be one of, if not the fastest driver.
While we were following this, Lester lost the position to Sanchez. Sanchez running currently P6 and hunting Philo. Supa.
Lester actually with almost no overtake remaining as well.
Supa with damage, getting
Comes
back
in
to the pits. He needs to fix the car and he will get straight back out. So he lost the position there. He was driving behind Lester. Lester pits. He'll possibly go.
Oh, Arigata's gone off. He's gone for another half spin at the chicane.
Oh.
He has spun it over the first apex curve, tried to correct it, but ended up in the gravel trap on the left-hand side. Just over-rotated the back end. Lester coming out onto the softs now. Oh my goodness. What was looking like such a great situation for him, he got up into the lead. Mistakes for our top 3 competitors. Arigata now with all the work to do again.
Gramenos pressing Chung here. Big time. He's having some great laps at the moment. Chung, actually, he wasn't able to follow Arigata. Arigata was getting away from him, and he's not driving his best laps at the moment. We see that he's 1.1 second off his fastest lap.
And I think Roach is actually, that's a new fastest lap of the race at some point. It was a 102.49. It's come down to a 102.41. Could we see a 102.3 out of any of these drivers, I wonder? Certainly before we end up getting onto the soft compound tires. At which point that lap time will tumble down.
Yeah, definitely in the final stint when they put on the softs and they will be empty on the fuel, we can see one minute flat.
Under 30 laps to go here at Road Atlanta. Gap out in front for the lead, slowly coming down. Gramenos, Arigata, I've just seen, has served yet another penalty.
Yeah, I was just following that. So
about the lead has slowly grown. It is now up to 6 seconds as there's no we're not going to end up running into
P5.
the night, are we? I've just noticed how much the sun is starting to set.
Hopefully these cars don't have lights, so I hope we don't end up with an evening race. But Philo under threat from Sanchez.
As we will take a look back at that battle, Sanchez recovering to that top 5 position. And that is for position. That isn't tire strategy. Philo defending that mightily for now. As they come out on through the final corner once again. Just about 3.5 tenths separating them. As Sanchez uses a little bit of overtake to close back in. Does he think about a move coming up into the crest of the hill? No, he drops a little bit further back.
Yeah, he'll wait.
Oh, but Philo had a horrible run through over the crest. Sanchez just nowhere to go through there. As we wait and try to see if he can potentially make a move happen on exit here. Gets a decent enough run out of the final corner. Already closing in before he even activates the overtake a little bit. 3.5 tenths once again. He is within range to think about a move if he wants it. 1 tenth now. Looks to the inside, and he's going to clear him in, coming into the braking zone. Philo not really fighting that one too much. An excellent move by Sanchez up into the top 5. Though with 18.5 seconds up the road to Michael, I'm not sure he's going to be able to recover that much. Though it would certainly be a very impressive drive if he was able to. Arigata now over 2 seconds behind Chung for the second place, and over 10 behind Super S2K, who's now almost 8 seconds ahead of his teammate, and continuing to extend that gap. Is it possible that having Gramenos just kind of following him for the time being is taking a little bit of downforce off that rear wing?
Of Chung?
Yeah.
No, I guess it's just hard for him to focus, and having somebody in your review mirror is not easy. So I guess he needs to adjust his lines and lose just a little bit of time. And now Arigata is coming into play here. I mean, essentially, Gramenos should let him through.
And it looks like he might do coming into this corner here.
Yeah.
And he does. He pulls off to the side, lets Arigata through. We'll see if that opens up Chung to start running away again. But we will have to wait and see. I'm beginning to realize I'm saying that a lot. Sanchez still running in the 5th position, having overtaken Philo a couple laps prior. Lester really running out on his own lonesome at the moment, 30 seconds behind Philo, but still a further 10 up the road from Quackadilly, who is actually, for the first time, I believe, running ahead of his teammate Ivan.
True.
Though much of that down to the fact that Ivan has had a few offs and a lot of damage to repair.
Yeah.
So, which would explain the 16.5 second gap. A further 11.5 seconds back to Roach, currently rounding out the top 10. And then Supa and Gramenos, our back 2. As Gramenos actually, he was riding the gearbox of Drift King. He's now all over the gearbox of Arigata. Or was, anyway, coming down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Arigata now 6 tenths behind Chung. Definitely an opportunity to attack.
Arigata continuing to try to close in under 7 tenths coming out of the S's, but Gramenos really has the car hooked up through that section. He closes in a lot on these top 3.
Yeah, Gramenos and Roach are the most unlucky guys today, even though a lot of them had some tough situations. Gramenos basically missed his turning point into turn 1 just after the start. Roach followed him. So, and they both just went off without any touch or anything. And we see that they're putting some great laps in. And to see them P10 and P12 is just devastating.
I'm very curious if Gramenos' pace is down to being able to run a higher wing setup potentially, and that's why he's able to close in so much on Arigata, who very dangerously drops a wheel into the grass on entry. Didn't lose the back end of the car or anything. It certainly kicked up a bit of dirt. But just watch this section here as Gramenos closes in a little, not as much as the lap before, but certainly did through that section again. Now only half a second between the two battling for this second place.
Yeah, he's very close, actually.
He really closes in a lot in the braking zones, but then just a matter of slipstream, he's able to stay right with Arigata here. And before he let him go for blue flags, he was keeping up with Chung very easily as well. He just ran a bit wide through that final corner sequence, though. Yeah, that dropped him a lot of time.
He definitely has the pace for top 4, but unfortunately he missed the most important thing to do, just stay on the track. Cost him a lot. Currently Arigata 4 tenths behind, 5 tenths behind Chung.
Oh, he had another snap of oversteer over that crest. He's really... I think it's just down to he's using a little more curb than he needs to be over the top of the hill. And it's bouncing his car out wide and dropping a tire into the grass, which is in turn really hurting his lap time. Still only half a second, as now, first time he's used overtake all race. Trying to close in a little bit here. 4 tenths the gap as he will continue to close in, looking for a run on P2. Chung defends it to the inside. They will be side by side into the braking zone. He runs it wide. Oh, and he runs it off and he's spun. He is spun into the drift section. It was going to be very close. I think he just marginally outbroke himself there. Just ambition over adhesion. And just ran it wide, got onto the grass, tried to, credit to him, kept it as tight as he could to the inside. Just, at that point, dirty tires, tried to get power down again and spun up the rears. Now 5 seconds back after that battle.
Yeah. Still has plenty of overtake button to get back into the slipstream of Chung. Unfortunately for Arigata, it was his
Gramenos
mistake,
has actually picked up a penalty here.
Yeah. It was his mistake, so it was Arigata who made a mistake, just tried to stick it on the outside, couldn't do it, went a bit off, and that was it.
I'm sure we might hear a little bit of discussion between those the two championship rivals at some point towards the end of this, as Super 2K holding a commanding lead, almost 13 seconds now, with under 20 laps to go here, which we would imagine will absolutely fly by. Realistically, I think we've only got about 25 minutes or so left of racing here to go.
Even less, about 18, 19 minutes.
What's happened between Philo and Roach? Perhaps so just a bit of blue flag tomfoolery. Yeah. Arigata with another snap of oversteer on exit coming onto the back straightaway.
Roach
he's closing in. He has the pace over AMS Drift King. His problem is he's just being far too ambitious with the moves he's making, far too ambitious with the throttle, just maybe a little over-aggressive at times. As Chung now into the pits for his second stop of the day. I don't think softs will go to the end from here.
Certainly,
I would think 2 sets
laps.
of them. Is it only 18 laps?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
right,
we
so
saw
maybe they will
them
go to the end then.
on Nürburgring that they can last 20 laps. So I'd say, yeah. The cars are lighter right now. I think they can do.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what... I said it again. That is... Who is that with the penalty? Gramenos has picked up a 3-second penalty. Arigata now using his overtake to try to prevent the undercut. As Chung will look to try to make the undercut happen and stay ahead of Arigata. As Quackadilly serves a half-second penalty, Gramenos will serve his 3 seconds. If he's gonna hold on to this, Chung realistically needs to get around Quackadilly as quickly as possible here without getting held up, and Quackadilly's gonna let him out of the way very nicely here. No time lost for the AMS driver as he tries to hunt down Arigata. Still a pit stop to make for for the top 3.
Arigata just had a purple sector. Let's follow this one.
On tires that old?
Yeah. I mean, he's using a lot of overtake. He's 2/10 of his fastest
And now
lap.
the leader into the pits, AMS Super 2K. Into the pits for what hopefully will be his final stop. I believe that's 15 laps to go now.
Yeah.
Arigata will assume the lead for the second time today. But for how long, as these drivers will make their way out. Super S2K on the soft compound tires. And well clear of Michael and Chung, who are only now coming down the front straightaway and into turn 1. Chung now actually under a second to Michael, and that is for position, so he doesn't have to yield. This will be where the battle for second is decided, I think. 22 seconds, the gap between himself and the leader. That is the window Arigata has to try to come out and stay ahead of Chung.
Yeah. It's definitely not helping that Chung is now stuck behind Michael, even though Michael is on very used
He's going to need to,
mediums.
realistically, he needs to drain overtake here, get around him as quickly as possible, which he is doing. Arigata into the pits. 22.5 seconds. Chung looks to the inside, will try to make the move happen, and does. He gets the move done, which is very important if he's going to try to hold on to the second place.
Arigata already at the end of the pit lane.
He's at the end of the pit lane. This is going to be very close between them.
And they are through.
They are through. The overcut has not worked for Arigata, though he will have, what is that, 3-4 laps of better tires on the softs?
Better tires, yeah. Even though we have to be honest, I mean, Arigata looked at one point that he's having this race under control. However, when we look at where he started and what happened in the last race, this is a great achievement still. And it's not over. He can still get P2.
He can definitely still get P2. I think P1 is slowly falling off the cards unless something drastic happens.
Yeah. Michael
Chung,
getting back at Arigata.
He is coming back. Even despite the older tires, he thinks better of it. He's going to let the top 3 battle it out. He has had a fantastic day, it must be said. As Arigata picks up a penalty!
That was a cut in the chicane.
Michael into the pits for his final stop. Just over 13 to go here. Everyone now is starting to make their final stops. We'll have to see how close... I did it again. Chung with... words. I'm flustered now. I'm realizing how much I'm saying the same thing.
But
he gets a huge step of oversteer. He was nearly going to be under a second and a half to Chung. He's going to continue to bleed time here even before he gets to the penalty box. He's going to serve it. Gramenos is going to get back by him.
yeah, battle.
And that gap's going to be about 4 seconds by the time it evens out in the braking zone.
I'm just looking at the replay of that. Well, it's not an incident. The game said he cut. I say he didn't cut. So he was with at least 2 wheels on the track, but for some reason it gave him a penalty.
Now, 2 wheels on the track. Was that 2 wheels on the curb, or was it...
It might have been on the line, and it happened very, very fast, but strange.
I wonder if the game might have desynced one of those two wheels perhaps stepped out a little bit, got into the grass. Very fine margins. And that's all it comes down to when you're competing at this high of a level. For the AMS driver's sake, Chung will need to try to hold Arigata off. Again, only 6 points separating these two drivers coming into today's race. Arigata holding that lead, so if Chung is able to hold on to P2, he should be able to close in on Arigata for first in the standings, though we'll have to see where Super 2K falls in the standings at the end of this.
11 laps to go.
Top three converging on each other. Not necessarily on track. The top two are. Super 2K continuing to run away. But the top three are all converging in the championship standings as we continue on in this round 5 of the championship.
Yeah. Arigata here risking a lot, so he's all over the place, dipping two wheels on the grass constantly. He knows he essentially has a free pit stop if something happens. 28 seconds separates him and Michael. So he's using that to try and close up to Chung in these last 10 laps.
2.5 seconds now, the gap between second and third. Gramenos got out of the way, won't be dealing any more dirty air to Arigata. Chung is the next car up the road, but then between them, between Chung and Super S2K, there are 3 lap cars in that gap, in that 15.5 second gap, that Chung will likely have to work his way through, which could hold him up as they come around to 10 laps to go this time by. 2.2 the gap now between these two extremely talented drivers, as we will see they were a bit of fireworks already in their first battle at Suzuka. We will have to see what happens here. I've said it again.
We will have to see what happens between Quackadilly Blip and Scorpio Ivan, because those two teammates are 5 seconds apart, a bit less. 10 laps to go. Ivan is lapping a second faster than Quackadilly Blip at the moment. Yeah,
he should very easily get up to him. But as the old saying goes, catching's one thing, passing's another. We'll have to see which of the... I gotta stop. I just gotta stop. I gotta stop, man.
Sanchez is in the slipstream of Michael, so Sanchez potentially looking at P4.
You know, didn't I say that would be a very impressive comeback drive if he was able to get back up into fourth?
Yeah,
well, it looks like he's about to do it here, because he's under a second and closing in rapidly, using all of the... Oh, but they've both picked up penalties. You can't be using that much curb. Or no, they both, not both of them, just Sanchez.
Just Sanchez, yeah.
So it likely best for him. Just stay in behind, wait for and serve the penalty, and then go in and attack again. As Michael will, this will give Michael at least one more lap of room to breathe. Both of them with actually very even tire wear.
Arigata
Michael
1.
with even more overtake though, so...
Yeah, Arigata just under 1.5 seconds away from Chung.
Battles heating up. Gramenos fastest lap I've just noticed, a 101.3.
Yeah, he must have used all of his overtake in one lap, which he did. He's out.
Chung holding on to second place for now. 1.2 the gap as they come down into the final chicane. Arigata needs to be careful to not make any more mistakes. He has the pace, he has the tire advantage over the AMS driver. 1 second is the gap as they come around with, I believe, what is this, 8 laps to go?
Yeah, 8 laps to go. Sanchez all over Michael again, so that gap has came back to 0.5 of a second.
As we would expect that battle to start to heat up massively, and you would think a move would be on into that corner next time by.
Yeah, Ivan made a mistake, so he's back to 6.5 seconds away from Quackadelic.
Gap now 6/10 between Chung and Arigata, being held up a little bit by Lester, who's given him a bit of slipstream. I'm a bit surprised Lester just hasn't gotten out of the way just yet.
Sanchez 110 down on Michael.
As
Bumper
Lester,
to bumper.
yeah, Lester just held him up. He just lost half a second there. That could potentially be a penalty for ignoring blue flags for Lester there. Though, given the fact that he's really out on his own at the moment, I don't think he's going to care too much about it.
Sanchez
As Sanchez makes the move. Side by side, both drivers on the overtake button. Down into the chicane. Michael trying to hold on and defend. He does so. Sanchez will try to set up the crossover. Doesn't quite have the exit he was looking for. Michael will hold on for another lap. Arigata. Not quite under a second just yet. But he's got more overtake to use. And he's got a lot more tire. Sanchez all over the back of Michael.
Yeah, Sanchez has a tune-in that has a lot more aero package. So he's faster through the corners, but he cannot get the
Can he make it work around the outside? No, he thinks better of it. He thought about going around the outside into the double right-hander. Not going to make it work just yet. They will sit in. He will slot in behind. Bouncing off and on the overtake button a little bit as he tries to make the run. Looks to the outside once again. Does he fake to the inside? Michael defended the inside very well there. Held it right up against the left-hand side for as long as he could, then switched back to the right after Sanchez made his move. Left him the space. It was a very legal defense. Oh, switchback maneuver. Sanchez looking to cross him over, going through turn 1. Backs out of it before the S's, though. He is all over his gearbox. Just not able to make a move happen through the S's here. He is being held up massively at the moment.
Yeah, he needs to overtake here. This is the spot, this corner.
I just don't know, because then he's just a sitting duck then on the next straightaway.
Yeah, true as well.
Oh, Michael's a bit wide. He's out into the grass. Kept 2 tires on, so he shouldn't get a time penalty, but he's going to lose a lot of momentum here. Sanchez not even using overtake until now. Closes in to the right-hand side. Contact a little bit. Still side by side into the braking zone. Michael fighting back tooth and nail. Sanchez trying the crossover, just not able to make it happen. Michael's so good through that final chicane.
Arigata 6/10 behind Chang as well, trying the same thing. Can't get it done.
So much overtake for Arigata to use as well. Laps winding down here. Working lap 69 to 73. Super 2K. 17.5 second lead at the moment. Another dominant performance for the AMS driver. And once again, that pole position to win, Mark, still up for grabs for any of these drivers. If you want to win, it seems, don't grab pole position. Arigata now trying to close back in 0.8 of the gap. 0.2 now. Sanchez once again with a run on Michael. Michael defends it hard to the inside again. Little bit of contact. Sanchez trying around the outside. Can't make it happen. Michael is again a little wide on exit. But he's not picked up a time penalty just yet for running a little wide.
Chang holding nicely as well. His pace 102 currently, 102.6 last 3 laps. So Arigata can't overtake, yeah.
As Arigata had a much better exit, shaved 3/10 coming out of that final chicane. And the battle resumes for the 4th place position. Michael, 4/10, 4.5 tenths, half a second, coming onto the back straightaway. Sanchez using the overtake. He's not got too much left to burn if he wants to get around Michael. He's got to use it sparingly. Looks to the outside again. Not even going to get side by side with him. But he's going to be a lot closer coming into turn 1 this time.
True, he is a lot faster through the corners. Maybe into turn 1.
If he can get close enough, he might think about a move into turn 2. He's all over the gearbox, just nowhere to go.
Arigata Chunk defending the inside and manages to save it from Arigata, who attacked him through the outside at the same point, so the chicane.
They held on to it. Both drivers keeping it clean for the most part. Michael once again with half a second coming onto the back straightaway. Sanchez not going to be close enough unless he really abuses the overtake here. But Michael does have almost a 0.25% more to burn. As the gap for second, under 3/10. We'll watch this battle coming into the final chicane again. Sanchez tries it around the outside again. Michael left in the space, but Sanchez backed out of it. As we'll look on.
Close.
Battle for second. Arigata under 2/10 now. Burning the overtake. Chung now gets on the overtake button. Arigata using the slipstream, side drafting down the back straightaway. They are side by side. Chung defending the inside, trying to hold him to that outside lane. Arigata tries it. Oh, contact again. But he will hold on to it for now. Can Chung get him back? We'll have to wait and see. Final lap of the race. Chung looks to the inside. They were very close to getting into the grass there. Arigata holds on to it for now.
This will be up to
that was I will say that was a very late block by Arigata down that front straightaway.
It was a contact. If it was a reactionary move, then it was a block.
That will have to go up to the stewards, I think. Sanchez. Yeah, that block did look very late. Sanchez is going to get realistically one more attempt here. Chung trying to close in, draining the overtake to try to get close. AMS Super 2K, we were so caught up in the battles, he's already crossed the line. He will win his second race. He's gone back-to-back in these last 2 rounds. Arigata will hold on to second on track. We will wait to see what the stewards have to say about it. But that will do it for the podium positions. Arigata second place, Chung in third. Michael, this is the last real battle on track. Michael with 6/10 back to Sanchez, whose tires are beginning to fall off a little more. Sanchez draining the overtake. Michael as well, though. 4.5 tenths as they near the final corners. As long as Michael holds it together, he should be able to maintain that 4th place position. An incredible drive by both of these drivers. Sanchez could have had a shot at the podium, just an unfortunate mistake in turn 1 cost him. But 5th place, a very well executed comeback drive. Well done to him.
And a great defense by Michael.
Yes, and it must be said, Michael with some of the cleanest and greatest defense we've seen possibly all season. That was very impressive and well done by him.
Impressive. So Super S2K victory for him. Back-to-back, Arigata P2, Chunk P3. And then Michael, Sanchez, Philo, Lester, Supa, Quackadilly Blip, Scorpio, Ivan, Graminos, Roach, and Paymay with a DNF.
So that will do it for the on-track action here today, but don't go anywhere just yet. We will try to get post-race interviews coming for you here in just a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be with you shortly.
I'll be logging off, so thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening in. Stay with Blade for the interviews, and see you in maybe a few weeks.
Thank you very much, Felix. We look forward to having you back in the booth.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks. Yes. I would prefer it, yes, just in case my stream's not picking it up. Yep. Noise suppression, where is that? Was that Michael's? All right. If you don't mind, I might want to try including you in the post-race interviews as well, because that battle for fourth at the end was incredible. All right. So just let me know once we've got audio settings ready, and I'll give a count in to start. Good question. Yeah, it was Michael's, so he's already in here. We were just talking to him, so. Okay. Check, 1, 2. Yep, all good. Yep. All right. Do we have a sound check on everyone? All right, perfect. I'll give a count in. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone. Post-race interviews here for round 5 of the Scorpio Superformula series. We're actually going to start off with our P4 finisher, Michael's. A hard-fought battle, it must be said, but an extremely well-deserved P4 and a defensive masterclass, it must be said. Tell us what was going through your mind in those final few laps as you were being attacked by Philo. You certainly did a very good job, both in car placement and in keeping more overtake than he had. Even at the very end of that race, gave you the ability to just drain it and stay ahead, despite the slipstream. So a well done, hard fought P4, and a very excellent result for Michaels. We're going to quickly jump over to our first place finisher, AMS Super S2K. A well-deserved victory, and once again, it seems we have a bit of a trend growing here, where our pole sitter is unable to close out the win. Do you think that's something to keep in mind moving forward? It's just that pole position is not where you realistically want to qualify. You want to start second, or is there something a little more to it than that? All right. Well, certainly we'll move on a little bit further into the race. We saw Nico, I believe it was about halfway through the event, pick up a time penalty, which granted you the lead. And after that point, you really just didn't look back. From there, I believe in a lap, you pulled almost a 3-second gap, and then just slowly grew and grew until I believe you ended up finishing with almost a 20-second lead over our second and third place finishers. What was going through your mind when you were able to make that final pass for the lead and then just continued to drive off? Well, it all worked out for the best. A second dominating performance, back-to-back wins for AMS Super 2K, which is going to do wonders for your title chances. Well done and hard-fought race for you. Congratulations on the win. We're going to move on to sort of combine our second and third place finishers here into one interview. Very hectic final battle for that second place position at the very end. Very hard defending between from both drivers, culminating in what looked like a very harsh block down the front straightaway on the final lap. Tell us, Nico, I guess we'll start with you. Just tell us about it from your perspective. All right. And Ryan, we'll move over to you as well. Certainly, again, also somewhat aggressive defending, especially down the back straightaway. You were able to hold Nico off for a few laps. Do you think it was just that tire advantage that gave him the edge to finally get around you? Do you think you should have pitted maybe a couple laps later? All right. And then obviously we heard overtake. The overtake button was certainly a point of contention both of you certainly had a decent amount to use toward the end of it. I believe you both still had at least 0.25% coming on to the final lap. Just any particular strategy of deployment that you might have done differently, or you wouldn't have changed it too much? All right. Well, folks, that will do it for the most part. If there are any result changes up and down the field in regards to whatever the stewards may decide from whatever events, we will be sure to keep you updated in the Grove Street Discord. So if you haven't joined, please do so at some point. I believe we have it linked on our channel. But be sure to tune in oh goodness, what in a couple weeks' time. May 24th, we will be heading over to Spain and the Barcelona circuit with no third sector chicane, thank goodness, where our drivers will contend over 63 laps for round 6 here of the Scorpio Superformula Championship. I've been TNR Blade. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.